why am I coming to you for a spray tan? Do I just not have time to go outside? Is it occasion based?
We're gonna show you a lookbook, and it's gonna have all of our different colors, all of our different solutions. We custom mix in-house. So if you're looking for something that's like nice and natural, but you're like, I don't wanna go too dark, we'll custom mix it right there.
So you open one. How quickly after opening the first were you like, oh, we gotta do a second?
Everybody here was so welcoming and so friendly and so supportive. And I honestly feel like if I would have moved to any other part in Florida to try and start a small business the way I did, I don't think it would have been as successful as it is.
Are you looking for insurance coverage that's as unique as the Sunshine City itself? Look no further. More Resources Insurance is your trusted partner right here in St. Petersburg. And why should you choose them? First off, they offer more carriers and market options than any other agency in Tampa Bay, ensuring that you get the coverage that's tailor-made just for you. They are a multi-line agency, which means they have comprehensive commercial and personal lines of coverage, so your needs are fully met. Pretty much, if the word insurance is in it, they have something for you, whether that's from home, auto, boat, yacht, renters, life insurance, or workers' compensation, you name it, they have it. And the best part is they hold a 5-star rating on all the places that you can leave a review. With over 16 years of dedicated service, they have been delivering exceptional customer service. You can get a free quote at www.davemoreinsurance.com. That's www.davemoreinsurance.com. Hello, all you beautiful people. Welcome back to Talkin St. Pete. I'm your host, Ryan Bogdan, and I want to introduce our amazing, gorgeous guest today. We have Brittaney Sturgill with BLB Spray Tans here in St. Pete. Brittaney, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You know, living in Florida, I will say, as a man, I don't think about spray tans. So I'm sure I got a lot of silly questions about them. And so we'll dive in that. But before we get that, are you a native to the area?
I am not.
Where are you from?
I'm actually from Ohio.
Okay.
And I moved here about 3 years ago. So I'm from Columbus.
Nice.
And so I relocated during COVID.
Yeah.
And this was my first time. I used to like vacation to Clearwater and stuff a lot when I was a kid, but never to St. Pete, never to Tampa. So it was all brand new to me. But I moved to St. Pete. I love it. Don't plan on moving like back home or anywhere else.
Yeah. So were you doing spray tans in Ohio?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was doing spray tans and teeth whitening back in Ohio. Prior to that, I was also a finance manager, so I did that for many years.
Okay.
And I kind of did like my side business part-time. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the leap of faith. I'm going to get out of the car business. I'm going to do my spray tanning full-time. And then 2 months later, COVID hit.
Oh.
So it was a little scary because I'm like, God, is this not the right time? I shouldn't have did this. And at the time, I had just met my ex now, but I just met my boyfriend and we were chatting it up and he's like, take this time, you know, work on like aftercare stuff, work on private label things. And then, you know, all I kept hearing was Florida, Florida, Florida. So eventually I moved in August of 2020 and relocated the business. And that's all I focused on when I moved here. And at first I thought it was going to be kind of like a part-time thing. And then 5-6 months into it, it was a 7-day-a-week open to close thing.
Nonstop.
So, yeah.
So people are all about it.
Yeah.
This is an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's definitely something that was scary because being in Ohio, we only have like, 3 months of summer.
Right.
And so spray tans are very popular because you don't get much
That's
sun.
something in my mind. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so when I
Okay.
think of up north, I'm
Yeah,
like, yep.
so you get it.
Yeah.
And so so I started my business because my aunt passed away from skin cancer. So that's where everything got rolling. Got me interested in spray tanning, things like that. And then I dibbled into teeth whitening because I'm a dentist. So when I moved down here, I'm like, gosh, it's sunny all year round. Like, do people actually spray tan or are they always at the beach?
Right.
But the more that I started to like meet people and the natives, are like, no, we don't lay out at the beach. We hardly get a chance to go over there. We want to protect our skin. So I felt like I found my niche in like a nice town where it was needed.
Yeah, so you came in hot.
Yeah.
You came in
did.
hot, right? Because you're saying you've only been here 3 years.
3 years.
And you have how many locations?
3.
3 locations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot.
what do you attribute to that success and growth? I mean, to come into the area, because I know I already kind of have an idea of the answer, but I want you to articulate it for how you experienced it. So coming down here during COVID, how many people did you know here?
One, my boyfriend. Yeah, so that's all I knew.
Okay. And so tell me about the journey of getting started, because I think that's probably the interesting story here of moving to a new area, knowing nobody, which I can relate to, and starting a business to now 3 years later, you have 3 locations. So
Yeah.
kind of like Paint that picture for us. What was that like?
So when I first moved here, I'm definitely like a go-getter and kind of a workaholic. So that's background from my dad. I thank him for that. So I was like hit the ground running. And I think my ex at the time was like, oh, just take your time. I'm like, no, like this is a goal and I want to achieve it. So I went around and basically went like door to door. I walked down Central. I introduced myself to every small business I came across. And I was like, hey, I'm new to the area. Here's my business cards. If you know anybody looking for a spray tan, like please send them my way. Here's, my Instagram. They can at least see a little bit of my work.
Right.
So everybody here was so welcoming and so friendly and so supportive. And I honestly feel like if I would have moved to any other part in Florida to try and start the small business the way I did, I don't think it would have been as successful as it is. St. Pete is such like supporting local and like keeping everything within the Tampa Bay area that like the support of all of the small businesses, I really feel like is what's helped my success.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be the answer.
Yeah.
The small business community here just gives you a warm hug.
Oh, it does. I mean, just everywhere you go, like everybody's really friendly. We're doing like giveaways and we do pop-up events. And, it's just about like really just having that cross marketing and being able to support and like help each other. That's the main thing. So.
Yeah. So what was year one like for you?
My 1 year like?
Your first year?
Oh, my first year. So first year, I would say probably the first like 5 to 6 months were kind of slow. And I'm just like, so I'm sitting on the floor. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And you're like crying. I actually, when I first moved here, I was like going around trying to find a space to do the business. I'm like, I don't need anything big. I just need a room. If I can just rent a room. So I'm going around. I couldn't find anything. And then me and my ex at the time had like a really big fight. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know who you are. I'm going to go back to Ohio. I'm not staying. And so I said a prayer and I was like, if I'm meant to be here, God, please like show me a room that I can rent. Let me run into someone. And
how were you doing business at the time? Were you mobile?
Yeah, I was just mobile because I had nowhere to go. Yeah. And so I moved August 1st. I started looking for a place August 4th. I was like on it. And then I found the space, started working on it in the first week of September, opened October 1st. So I wasn't here very long.
Wow.
And so I found someone. She actually owns Rare Body Studio now. And at the time she had just moved here, kind of similar story. And she's like, I got a room for you. If you want, we'll work something out. So I rented a room and then it became I needed another room. And then I was like turning one room into 2 booths and it was just like growing rapidly. And then at a point, I think once I hit almost a 1 year mark, maybe a little less, I knew I needed help. And I was like, I can't do this on my own, but like, can I trust someone to like run things the way I want it to be done? And so I started kind of hiring and now I've got a team of 12 girls.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, when you were in Ohio, what did the business look like? Were you mobile? Did you have a location?
Yeah, so I had a location.
Okay.
It was like downtown Columbus.
Got
and
it.
Then I also kind of did mobile as well. And we do mobile here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did a lot of mobiles and I had the one location. And like I said, I kind of did it part-time. And then when I left the business or left doing finance and everything, I was like, okay, full time, diving in, opening up the book 7 days a week. And then 2 months later, COVID hit. So no one was coming in. So that's when I kind of got into.
So you already had some of the foundation set in terms of having a physical location from being up there to come down here. So it wasn't like in your mind, you weren't starting from scratch. You kind of already had the blueprint.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. So what are the challenges now in having 3 locations versus 1?
Well, staffing is always the hardest when you're running a small business. And then I would say I don't have like a general manager, so I run all of them and I wear, like we were talking about earlier, multiple hats.
Yeah.
So you're starting in one area, you're finishing in another, and you're kind of just trying to juggle as much as you can. But my staff that I have now is a really solid team. They help me out a lot, and just understanding kind of like where to delegate. Don't delegate too much so where people get overwhelmed.
Yep.
But also the background that I come from, I don't like businesses that treat people like a number. And so I'm very, very big on like showing appreciation, knowing that they're valued. And so I'm constantly always checking in with my girls. Hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything? And I think that's what keeps us close knit.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps me. But there are struggles when you're juggling multiple hats and you're trying to be in 3 places at one time.
Yeah, that's tough. So where are your 3 locations?
So St. Pete, we're right off of 5th Avenue, right kind of near the freeway area towards downtown. And then we're in Tampa off Bay to Bay,
Nice.
Right over by Starbucks near Hyde Park. And then the third one's down in Sarasota off UTC.
big location, like spread there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice like range, kind of a reach bridge.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And so breaking into the other markets, what was that like? Because those are three totally different markets.
Yeah. So I would say St. Pete obviously has like hit the ground running. It's our home base. Tampa, I already kind of had like a little bit of feel because we had people driving over the bridge to come to us.
Wow.
We have quite a bit of a reach because sometimes we have some clients that drive like an hour and a half, 2 hours to come, which it says a lot and it makes me feel really warm and fuzzy. But we kind of already had a little bit of a name in Tampa. So opening up Tampa, I thought would have picked up a little quicker than what, it did. But I think now we're a year into Tampa and it's starting to ramp up. We just signed a contract for a sponsorship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we spray tan all of the girls and all of that, which is nice. And
that doesn't suck.
Yeah. It keeps us busy.
It keeps you busy and it's good for branding and good for them. That's awesome.
So, and then Sarasota is a little slower. It's a different demographic down there. So I'm still filling it out, still learning it. It's a big wedding area, which is great, but I'm still trying to find like the right niche.
Yeah, that's when you're in they're close in proximity-ish, but three totally different markets.
Yeah.
What do you find the big difference between Tampa and St. Pete? And now having two locations and two totally what's the drive time on that? 25 minutes?
Yeah, it's about 20 to 25 minutes between the two locations.
But two totally different worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's two totally different worlds. I feel like in St. Pete, our clients are like loyal that once they come in, they're like, I'm not going anywhere else. I don't care what your availability is. I'll make it work. Tampa, same thing. I feel like they're still very supportive, but I do feel it's like, is it convenient? Are you close enough for me? Do you have the time? If not, I'm going to go somewhere else, that kind of thing. So we're still learning that niche. And it's definitely, again, two different demographics. So
you're not the first person to say that. Yeah. You're not the first person to say it. It's the same thing of the loyalty of the St. Pete customer versus Tampa. And I think that's just bigger city versus like, I don't consider St. Pete to be a city, even though maybe it is, but when you compare it to a place like Tampa, I moved here from Philadelphia, like, those are cities. Yeah. Where I feel like we're just a large neighborhood.
Right. Yeah. Big community, but close knit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. So educate me. I'm just a big dummy here that doesn't know much about spray tan. So why are people, what's the occasion? Why am I coming to you for a spray tan? Do I just not have time to go outside? Is it occasion based? Am I doing this reoccurring? Is this like, I'm sure the range varies, but like, why am I coming to you?
Yeah, so there's multiple different reasons why someone would come in. I mean, obviously you hear the big one, okay, occasions, events, holidays, weddings, things like that. Everybody likes a nice glow. And that's also because they're in photos. And a lot of times when you're on camera, when you're on stage, when you're taking pictures, it usually washes you out. So you want some color. But the thing that's going to set us apart is our formula is plant-based and vegan. So a lot of times if you're going to go to a booth, it's very quick. It's a chemical base. It's going to fade in like 3 to 4 days, and then you're done. Our formula is going to last you anywhere from like 7 to 2 weeks. So we usually say like 7 to 10 days, or we have a hydration tan that's a 2-week that comes with a skin treatment. So you're getting collagen, you're getting hyaluronic acid, skin firming, anti-aging. There's a glowing formula that we mix into it, and a tan extender.
You're saying all this because I'm like,
you're like, what?
What? Yeah. No, it's good because people listening definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So you get that skin treatment. It's really good for hydration. A lot of people come in with dry skin. So we have some people that don't even really want to get a tan to be darker. They just want to get like even skin tones. So if they have, uneven tan lines, people going for weddings, they've got these crazy tan lines, we'll blend them out. I have some people that really just come for that light touch of glow. So they want the skin treatment on their skin because it makes their skin feel really good and hydrated, but just really like to kind of stay the same skin tone. So that would be another reason. Obviously, we have competitions. We do a lot of cheerleaders, like from ages 7 to like, as old as however. I think the only reason I know it's because she told me I've sprayed an 89-year-old, and that was for a bridal party, and the grandma wanted a spray tan. So,
how cool is that?
Yeah, so it's like they're for all ages, all ethnicities, male and female. A lot of the guys feel like, well, it's not for us, but it's funny because most guys that do come in, they don't want people to know it's a spray tan. So, it's kind of like, don't tell anybody. I'm like, okay. So there's multiple reasons why someone would come in. But it's always nice to just have that nice, healthy glow, and it's very custom. We blend around all the areas. You go to a booth, they have you stay in all these different crazy positions. doesn't get all the
So
areas.
you're saying go to, like, again, big dummy. What's the difference? Like, you say go to a booth first. I come to you. What's
So the way that you would do, like, just kind of give you a rundown on how you would come in for an appointment.
Walk me through it.
Yes. So
I'm coming in.
we're coming in. We're going to greet you, ask you, is this your first time ever having a spray? You say yes or no, or I've had one 10 years ago. We're going to show you a lookbook, and it's going to have all of our different colors, all of our different solutions. We custom mix in-house. So if you're looking for something that's like nice and natural, but you're like, I don't want to go too dark, we'll custom mix it right there. And then if on the next visit, you're like, hey, that was perfect, can I go a smidge lighter? We'll be able to custom mix it there. Once we find your color and your solution you're looking for, you're going to come back into the tanning room. We're going to show you where everything's at. You'll undress to your comfortability. Once you're undressed and ready to go, we'll get you prepped. So a lot of places, when you go to a booth, there's going to tell you to stand in this booth. It's going to tell you face forward, face back, turn your sides, lift your arms,
And
you're
so there's
out.
no one spraying you.
No.
The booth is doing the work.
Is spraying
it's
you.
a car wash.
Exactly. Yeah, this is very custom, more by hand.
Got it.
And so we use blending brushes. We get in those little crevices. We'll make sure your hands don't look crazy, your feet don't look crazy. And then when we're done, we actually have body dryers. So we're the only place in the Tampa Bay area that actually has heated dryers. So that's another thing. People are like, I don't want to leave feeling wet or sticky, or I hate the like spray tan smell, or I don't want to be orange. Ours are all brown base, which is great. So there's absolutely no orange. No spray tan smell. And then the body dryers get your body nice and dry, and then we'll top you off with a powder at the end. So you don't leave feeling wet and sticky. We have stuff that you can rinse in as little as 2 hours for an express. If you've got an event tonight and you're like, I need some color, come in, we'll spray you, rinse in 2 hours, get dressed, go do what you need to do. So
the body dryer thing, is that something that you did up north? Was that something you discovered down here? Like,
yeah, so I did it up north because we have a winters,
Yeah.
and they're freezing when they come in,
Right.
and you can't really heat up your formula because of just the compounds and everything that's in it. So the body dryers actually have 3 different levels, and it has 3 different temperatures. So you can go cold, neutral, or hot.
So this was something you discovered, like, well, I used it up north, might as well have it down here, and oops, I'm the only one that has it.
Yep. So it's kind of nice. There's like little things that just make us stand out, and we go above, just above and beyond about the fine tuning details.
Yeah.
And then I feel like just walking a client through step by step really makes a huge difference, because if you think about it, there's some people who don't even like undress fully in front of their partner, and now they're standing in front of a stranger and undressing, and I'm seeing you the way that you are, so you just have to make them comfortable, and that's what's so important. You can't teach that.
How many people do you think you've spray tan?
Oh God. Well, we do about 400 a month. So
how many are you actually doing?
Well, I work almost 7 days a week, but I'm trying to get not working 7 days a week. But I would say on average, I probably spray 10 to 15 a day.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is a lot of people. So
how long does that typically take? 30 minutes?
So anywhere from like 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay,
if you're
so you
doing,
can bang them out.
Oh yeah, and if you're doing full body contour, maybe about 20, 25.
Got it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Are you burnt out?
I have my days.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hiring. I just hired 3 new girls. And so that way I can kind of step away a little bit from actually being hands-on. And I want to kind of like do more things behind the scenes and work on more marketing content. And then eventually I would love to open up a location in Clearwater. So it's just kind of like I need that time to focus in on those things to help the business grow on the back end while I can kind of have the girls run the studios.
Yeah.
But I'll never fully take myself off the floor.
Because you like it too much.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work to me. I love it. I love seeing the clients. I love the transformation. I love the way it makes people feel, the confidence boost you get. It's nice.
Is this the first time in your professional career that you felt this way?
Yeah. I feel like I like found my purpose. You know?
Well, you're aligned.
Yeah.
That's why the growth is happening so fast.
Yeah, that's
I just
true.
talked about this last night. When you're aligned in life with your profession or work, it doesn't feel like work and things. You're like in the fast lane.
Yeah. It's like go.
Yeah.
But it's all falling into place.
Right. Yeah. So where are you at 3 years from now?
Oh, 3 years from now. I don't think I'll ever fully franchise. And this is my thought process now. Maybe I'll feel different, but I feel like when people start to franchise, they lose the like home feel inside the business, like where like it actually starts in that customer service field. When you start to franchise, again, it kind of sometimes can lose that touch and then goes into like a number. And people just come in, okay, thank you, see you later.
Yeah. Well, because now it's so systematized, it has to be, right?
Exactly.
You're buying a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe just a few more locations. And then I also want to kind of get into like training fields. So I've done a few trainings here and there where I can physically do either online or in person and teach people the knowledge that I know. So that's kind of like my next level in the next 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some thought there. You're thinking of where the direction is. When you moved here 3 years ago, did you think you would be where you are right now?
No. No, I just thought, okay, like great. I know my work ethic, so I knew I would be busy, but I didn't think I'd have 3 locations.
Yeah, tell me about the confidence of the 3 locations. So you opened one. How quickly after opening the first were you like, oh, we got to do a second?
So crazy thing, when we opened up the St. Pete one, we were there in the building. We were off of Central and MLK. And then we found out through word of mouth that they were tearing the building down and that we'd have to find another space. So I freak out because I'm just like, I got to have this together. That's the Virgo in me. And so I'm like, okay, how do I like jump on this before the other 15 people in this building need to find a small space in downtown St. Pete? Again, we're neighborhoodly. You're not spread out.
Right.
So at that time, I was already in contract with opening up Tampa. And that was, so we've been open 3 years, so it's been 2 years in. So 2 years in, we were like, okay, great, I'm going to work on Tampa. That took 7 months to negotiate that lease. And then, so I'm opening up Tampa, remodeling that, and then also at the same time, moving St. Pete, because now we've got to move out of the building. And then Sarasota fell into my lap. So all in the month of September last year, I relocated St. Pete, opened Tampa, and was like building and getting Sarasota together. So it was a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
And are you the only, do you have any partners in this?
Just me.
Just you. Mm-hmm. Working your ass off.
Yeah. Yeah. My ultimate goal back then was, okay, like I can get this running, I'll get a team together, do what I love, but then I can also kind of have a work-life balance. But my ex just unfortunately couldn't hang in there with me. So so I'm just here rocking it out, and the right person will come.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. When you're dedicated to your work, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And I don't know that really is balance.
Yeah.
You can't be really good at something if you have balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that there's phases of like you may be over here on the scale, but then you're gonna there'll be a different stage of life where you're on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look at like, do you think Stephen Curry has balance?
Probably not.
No, like to be good at anything, you have to just be all in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to have the growth that you've had in such a short amount of time, like there's no way you could do that if you were also taking the weekends to go hang out and do this, and you had dinners every night, and you were just being a social butterfly.
Yeah, that's what my mom tells me. She's like, "You're never going to meet anybody. All you do is work and go home." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But
you're aligned, and it feels good.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm in a happy space, and I'm like, and the time's right. But I will say, like, it's hard for some people to understand entrepreneurship, and I don't even think I fully understood it when I first got started.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What new discoveries are you finding in this world of entrepreneurship? Because now, like, this is way different from Ohio. Because now you have an enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's one thing you learn that it's not a 9 to 5. It's a 24/7, and if you truly want to see like path and growth, like you can't let off the gas. Mm-hmm. And so it's constantly wanting to stay like 2 steps ahead of competition. What's the next thing that you can do that still keeps you like relevant, and then marketing right now, like social media, it's like constantly changing. So now you're wearing again all these hats, trying to stay up with TikTok and stay up with the reels, and then make sure you're posting content twice a day and interacting with people. So I think that portion of it, and not realizing your overhead, knowing your insurance, and learning that path of it, I would have no idea that like the overhead I'm paying now, if I would have thought about that back then, I probably would have scared myself away from the dream.
Right.
But I also am one of those things that if you want something, you just got to do it, because there's never a right time.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. Yeah. And what's your driving force behind all this? It's always interesting to get in deeper into an entrepreneur, especially that's driven as much as you are. Why expand? Why grow?
So, I mean, I feel like there's multiple reasons. Well, one, I always have, especially on my tough days, and I'm like, oh God, why am I doing this? I think of my aunt. And I'm like, I started this business because I wanted to be able to help people stay from out of the sun and help protect from skin cancer. Mm-hmm. So if I can help spread that knowledge and even spray one person a day, I feel like I did my part from saving someone from, if I see their skin on a regular basis, they have a membership or they come in a couple times a month, and I start to notice something that's different, or a mole pop up I didn't see before. Hey, I didn't notice this before. You might want to get this checked out. And I've actually caught someone's like skin cancer before.
Wow. That's cool.
That's huge for me. Mm-hmm. And then I think just making that connection, I'm a people person. And so I love like, seeing people, and again, making it see how they feel. So that's kind of my driving force. Mm-hmm. Also, my dad's always one of those things. He puts me on a high pedestal. So I'm like, he's like, you starting your own business, you got to make sure you have a 401k and this and that. I'm like, Dad, just trust me. Like, I got this. So it's almost kind of like a prove you wrong kind of thing.
Yeah, isn't that funny how, well, not and nothing, Dad, if you're watching.
Yeah, love you.
Nothing against that, but like the idea of job security.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're almost more secure now in what you have going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a scary thing because I feel like if someone's going to put one foot in, one foot out, or only give like, 40% of the effort, it might be a little more rocky. But when you really dive in at all force and you know that you got it and you have that confidence and I can do this,
Well, back to the balance.
Pep talk. Yeah.
Right? Because if you were 1 foot in, 1 foot out, yeah, then it would, but
exactly.
You wouldn't have what you have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's,
It's a lot of cool things. Entrepreneurship is fascinating, and to me, it's like my sister just had a baby. He's almost 5 months old, and having a business is the same way. Mm-hmm. It's like raising a child.
It is.
Yeah. You can't neglect it.
No, you can't neglect it. Yeah. There's ups and downs. You have good days, you have bad days, but then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, like this is my baby.
Right.
I want to see it succeed. I want to see it grow. What do I got to do to nourish it?
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. And I'm really huge on putting myself in other people's shoes. So I think that's also maybe one of my niches that kind of like helps me with being successful is because I put myself in a client's shoes. Like if I come in and I sit down in my waiting room, I'm looking at what I'm seeing visually. Like, would this be appealing to someone else? Or if when I come in for a spray tan, what do I look for? I don't want to stink and I don't want to be orange and like the powder, that makes a huge difference. So that's where I feel like I find my little
You're putting
fine-tunes.
yourself in the client's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it says a lot about the community here that you created your home base in such a great spot of St. Pete. So I know you're working your face off and you might not get out all that much, but when you're not working, what are you doing in St. Pete?
When I'm not working, I do love to go to Vinoy. I spend a lot of time with my dog. So his name's Rocco. He's my baby. I've had him since he was born. And so I'll go over to Vinoy Park, kind of like walk the dog. I do like to go to Pilates. So obviously I met her when I first moved here and now I'm like obsessed with it. It's probably my favorite workout.
Where is that?
Rare Body Studio.
Okay.
So she's on MLK downtown.
Yeah. It's funny. I just heard about this place today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you should definitely meet her. You should bring her on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a boss babe. Love her. So I do that probably 3 or 4 times a week. So that's kind of my outlet, my stress reliever.
Yep.
And then if I do kind of like go out to socialize and stuff, I usually meet up with the girls, some of the local small business owners and stuff here. We'll go out for like
where do you like to go?
So if I'm in St. Pete, I'll say like we do like to go to Canopy, just kind of have a little drink there, or just some of the small mom and pop shops and stuff. So that's kind of nice. I know we were recently at Left Bank and we all got together. It was like 10 of us just to kind of socialize and chat.
That's fun.
And then where were we at the other day? Somewhere on Central. It was in one of the new restaurants, but it was good. So we just try to like bounce around and support.
If it's your birthday and we're in St. Pete, where are we going to dinner?
Where are we going to dinner? Oh man, there's a lot of good restaurants. That's a hard question. You know how many food places there are here?
It's your birthday. Where are we going?
Well, I would say I would probably either go to maybe 1200 Chop House.
I've heard good things. Haven't been.
I really like their steak. It's a very small like steak place, but it's very intimate, and I love the food. The food's good. Customer service has been great. So I would probably go there. Or there's another little kind of like Asian fun spot that's down on Central right next to what is it? Station House. I'm trying to think. I'm like drawing a blank on the name of it. It's downstairs.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Good Fortune.
Good Fortune. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like their vibe. I actually went there last year for my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah. So they had the little karaoke room. It was fun. All the food was really good. And they had like on, I think it's Fridays and Saturdays, you do like live jazz. So it was a saxophone player.
Shout out Steven Stroud. You killed it. Yeah.
Yeah. He did a good job. So yeah, I like Good Fortune too.
It's a good spot. That's a good spot. Okay. So we're hanging out in Vinoy, but you're working too much to really enjoy anything else. You ever make it out to the beach?
Here and there, not as much as I would love to. I'm like 5 minutes from the beach, but I probably go maybe once a month.
Yeah.
And I like sunsets and sunrises, so I'll go to Vinoy for the sunrise, and then I'll head over to St. Pete Beach for the sunset.
Try to catch it, right? Yeah, you have to do that, to do both in one day.
Yeah.
I've caught one or the other.
It's kind of cool.
But
We
it's
have
on the
amazing
list.
sunsets here.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Even the sunrise
phenomenal.
over the bay is really, really, really nice. And isn't it funny? Like you move down here, and people think that you're at the beach all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're like,
They're just thinking you're living on the beach,
yeah,
party city. I'm like, no.
no. Actually, you might go to the beach more than me because you come down to visit, and that's when I'm there.
Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah, it's like that's the place you take them when they come to visit.
Right, right. Do you go back up north often?
I do. So when I first moved, I used to go almost once a month for probably the first maybe 8-9 months because I was still like weaning off my clients back home. So I would do a pop-up event at my hairstylist that's back home. And so I would go home once a month, see my friends. And then eventually it started to kind of trickle down. And then I actually sold my clientele list to one of my clients.
Oh.
So she started her own spray tanning business down there. I trained her on everything. And so now she's using our products and she's spraying all my old clients. And so it's really cool.
That's cool that they, like for you, being the people person that you are, knows that like they're still being serviced and taken care of, and you just didn't leave them like
hanging, high and dry.
peace.
It wouldn't sit right with me.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. What do you think St. Pete's missing?
What are they missing? I don't know, because I feel like every month something new pops up and there's always something to do. I don't really know if I could like think something off the top of my head that they're missing.
Some people have an answer. Some people don't.
I don't. What do you think they're missing?
Oh, a collective. I think it's coming. Like what's happening at the Sundial, they're going to revamp that. I think that area could use it's going to get it the facelift.
Yeah,
like for some reason it's dead there. You know? Unless you're going to Sea Salt or Ruth, there's a couple shops in there, but I just feel like it could be humming a lot more. So that's something. I don't know. Other people have said like parking or an Apple store, or like just weird, things
parking
like that.
garage.
Yeah. To me, the parking's not that bad. Like I lived in Philadelphia. You did not drive.
Yeah.
Because you would not find parking.
Exactly.
Like you took the subway, you Ubered, or you walked. Like that was it.
Yeah.
So here it's like if you're smart and know where to look, like you can find parking.
You'll find something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really excited about the growth. I think we're St. Pete is really just getting started, and I know it's transformed a lot. And people who've moved here are like, no more people come, blah blah blah. Well, it's inevitable. It's happening.
It's gonna happen.
The amount of cranes that are downtown and the growth there. I spent a lot of time between here and Austin, Texas, and there's a lot, kind of a similar vibe. Austin's a little bit bigger, but our art scene, our small business scene, the weirdness of St. Pete is here, and it excites me.
Yeah, no, I like it. I will say I hope as much as and quickly as St. Pete's growing that I've witnessed in the last 3 years, I hope it still keeps that small town niche.
Yeah.
Like I hope that just as what I've noticed as a business owner, overhead is skyrocketing and they're, increasing. And sometimes it's hard for small businesses to stay afloat when they're raising prices so high. So then you have a lot of franchise businesses coming in.
Right.
So I hope that it keeps its like small town, big city vibe.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. And that is this, I think the likeness attracts likeness. So people coming here like the way that it is. And I don't think hopefully municipality lets franchises come in. Like I think we've done a really good job, especially down Central and Fourth, of like it's not a lot of franchises.
Yeah, you still have your small business vibe.
And so we'll see as a lot of these bigger condo projects get finished in the retail space that's there. Like are the prices going to be reasonable to where mom and pops can afford it, or is it going to be outrageous and we end up with a Target downtown?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You never know. Yeah. I guess we'll see.
We'll find out. More to come. More to come.
Yeah.
Back to like your business mind, because I find that fascinating. Where did you go to school for business? Like to go from one location for a few months and now 3 in just a short amount of time. Like, what do you attribute that success to besides your drive? Like, did you read books? Did you have a mentor?
No, so I didn't really read like a lot of like books on like business or anything. I mean, I went to school actually for physical therapy. And then when I got a job working at the car dealership, I was kind of making what like a therapist would kind of make, or at least a physical assistant. And so I didn't finish like my full physical therapy degree. And I was like, well, I'm just going to dive all in. And so I did car business for almost 10 years. And so I learned maybe a little bit of business aspect when doing finance and stuff, and learning numbers and knowing how to manage money and things like that. But outside of that, like running a business, no, it was just like on a wing. And then, you know, I'm like watching other people. I'm like, okay, that seems cool. So maybe let me try that. Let me see if it works. And if it works, great. If it don't, I'll do something else. But yeah, I just kind of over time, just kind of like looking and seeing what the peaks are. Now I will say, a month and a half ago, I did hire a business coach. So because I want to take my business to the next level, and not necessarily like in-house, but just the expansion of understanding more than my services, and how else can I expand it to grow, to touch more nationwide? You know, how can I get my products out there to where, you know, I have some people that buy stuff in like California and Michigan and a few other places, but like, how can I really spread branches? How can I spread my arms? So I'm diving into that and learning slowly, but I feel like I'm open to knowledge. Knowledge is key.
Knowledge is key. The only thing stopping you between you and what you want is knowledge and time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. You hired a coach.
Yeah.
I think those who are really successful and go to the next level have to have a coach.
Yeah.
Because we get in our own way.
We do. And we're like, nope, this is what we want. And they're like, nope, do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
Well, and that, and like, are you thinking big enough?
Yeah, that's true.
That's where I'm always pushing people. Like, I coach a lot of real estate agents, and we're always limited by our beliefs. You know?
Yeah.
Everything in life is an afterthought. So
That is true.
You have to think it first.
Yeah, you got to think it first, put it on paper, and then set goals to how are you going to get there.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good spot to wrap this up. If someone's made it this far, Brittaney, what's one word that they should comment so we know that they're still here?
They're still here. Support local.
Support local.
Yeah.
I like that. That's sweet. I like that a lot. Support local. Where can they find you? After all this, they're like, I need a spray tan now.
Spray tan.
Yeah.
So you can always give us a call. The phone number is 727-537-0037. That's for all locations. And then we also have our website, which is www.blbluxury.com.
I meant to ask you, what does that stand for?
So it's my initials.
Oh,
yeah. So
nice.
it used to start with BLB spray tans, and then I changed it to BLB Luxury just because we've branched out in other services, with the teeth whitening and the infrared saunas and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
So that was kind of where the rebranding portion came from. But yeah, so they can find us on there or Instagram, Facebook. We're both under BLB Luxury. We just recently had to revamp our Instagram because it got hacked. So we're working on it. But
Dang it. Yeah.
Life of an entrepreneur.
Yes. One thing you wake up to, like, oh, that's fun. Okay, if you're still with us, comment, support local. Mom, I know you're still here, so thank you. And yeah, Brittaney, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Super
absolutely.
excited to dive into your mind and learn all the fun things, and support local business. Check out Brittaney if you need a spray tan, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Thanks.
Wow, your story is cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It's the power of this city.
It is. It's